Hello everyone, my name is Sumit Mundhada and I am a software quality assurance professional. I am doing software testing for various enterprise products, and today I would like to talk about visual testing, one of the very critical and an important topic. Let's try to understand why it is so important and then how to strategize it for your testing need. So without taking much time, let's get started. When we talk about visual testing, I think we all understand that we are into the world of digital app. We have applications for ordering a food, for booking your flights, for doing some banking transaction, and list goes on. And when we are into such era, what matters for the end user is the experience. We are looking for a seamless user experience, and I think the products are very customer centric. That's the reason it is important for a business, and of course, same goes to the quality assurance team. When we talk about the software quality assurance team, what are the some of the expectations? We don't want distorted web pages. We want to ensure that the applications are getting rendered properly on variety of devices, operating systems, and browsers. We don't want layout mismatch and sort of issues. The products are getting built into the agile way, so the quality assurance team need to be flexible, adapting this kind of a change, having faster deliveries, and then how to quickly turn around the time for doing a visual validation testing. Then we talk about the quality assurance delivery. We have some challenges towards it. Well, of course, the challenges are because of the variety range of devices, operating systems, browsers, different screen resolution, and so on. So I think these are some of the challenges and expectations we need to keep in mind while strategizing visual testing. Let's try to understand how does it work. What are the best approaches to do this kind of testing? Then what are some of the pointers which can help you to evaluate a right tool, and then things to keep in mind for future. In terms of doing a visual testing, conceptually, if I would like to talk about how does it work, basically the concept is very simple. We take the screenshot of the application and we call it as a baseline images, or you can call it as a baseline stage. Then you compare this screenshot for your next iteration, and then depending upon the result and the analysis, either you will go and file a defect, or you will revisit your baseline images and you will baseline it, and you can call it as updating your baseline. So you take a screenshot, you compare, either you file a defect or you rebaseline. That's what the concept is. And then with the evaluation and the advancement in the technology, the artificial intelligence, ML, these kind of things are also playing a very critical role to have a better way of doing a visual testing. So have this thing also into the mind. When we talk about the approaches, I think the most important thing is the product scope. If your product is dealing with a lot of user interaction, then definitely that is the best candidate for doing a visual testing. Whether it's a visual testing or any other testing, guys, it is very important to have a long-term vision in mind, have automation mindset for faster and quality delivery. Then your visual validation checks can also be applied to your existing automated script. So if you have already a set of automated test cases, then why not to integrate SDKs, libraries, have few lines of code, and you are already there. If you are not, then go for a dedicated visual testing. One thing I would like to mention about the type of tools, guys, because mostly whether it's an open source or a proprietary, the tool falls into two categories: the code base and the configuration base. So have these also in mind while doing your approach. Well, I will not be talking about the tool here because tool will depends on various factors, and I think we all can look for the pointers here, and based on this we can evaluate the right tool depending upon the different environment. One thing is very important, again, the scope. After the scope, let's check for support for the existing automation framework. So whenever you are into automation already, there is no point of reinventing a wheel. You can check if your existing automation framework can be enhanced, say integrate with different SDKs and libraries, and then the same script, if can be, can be taken one step ahead, also covering the visual testing coverage. Capability to ignore the false positive is very important, because this is one of the challenge that you may end up with having the false positive, and in that case you need to ignore those kind of things while doing a verification. So you need to have that capabilities into the tool. Definitely when you are doing, you don't want to end up with doing a lot of analysis, so smart failure analysis and quick validation is very important. As we mentioned, we have a different type of browsers and layouts. So those kind of support like full mode, layout validation, having an anti-aliasing properties. So this kind of a thing should be there into your tool. Any tool should always keep or design in the way of the scalability. So end of the day, if the product is getting changed, and if your requirement of the framework is getting changed, then your tool should be scalable enough to adopt those changes. Definitely support for CI/CD, defect logging into your defect management tool. Those things if are there, then why not to use it? And then end of the day, the most important thing is the rule based approach, because what is happening that many a times you end up with something which you are not actually expecting. You might need to ignore, let's say, advertisement or any dynamic content, and in that case we need to have a kind of a mechanism which gives us a rule which we can set by our own, and that will help us to have the proper visual validation testing, like what to test, what not to test. End of the day, when it is automation, what matters is the maintenance. You need to first understand that you should not have a maintenance, and if you have the maintenance, then how we can do it faster. So these are the some of the pointers which can help, which will definitely will help you to decide the right tool. Then last, let's talk about some of the trends and the future possibilities, guys. As I mentioned, tool, you can have the open source, a proprietary, but they will fall into two categories, like code based, where you need to write a script, or a configuration based tool. And there are a lot of things happening, as I mentioned, like the AI powered computer visions and other things are coming into the tool, which are actually doing a very quality testing when to do a visual validation. So I think this kind of things also keep in mind when you are evaluating a tool, that whether these kind of things are supported in your tool, or maybe in near future the tools are gonna support these things or not. These are good to know and good to ask question while evaluating a right tool. So end of the day, the expectation is to not have only a functional validation, but a very great user experience. And I think that's the reason visual testing is not only critical, it is must. Yes, if your product falls into that kind of a range. So that's about visual testing, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.